Welcome back. Hope you had a great week. So last week we kind of discussed how, the market will make kind of one more push to the upside before it comes down, but I did kind of use the word little last week. So I'm really not sure. It may be little after all. At the very least, even if I were to go into a lower time frame, you can still see that, even within that, if we were to consider this a 505, we are still kind of within wave three. So we still, at least, got to push into that 5190 5200 level, right? Before we may come down to the downside.
This short clip is presented by Community. Fast track your learning curve and profit with our LaDuc Trading Discord community. It is ideal for beginners who love the chase. Community provides access to not only Samantha's daily market thoughts and chase trades, but also her fabulous team of live stage mentors who share their actual trades and risk management stops across equities, options, and futures. You also get access to custom trade support when you need it. For more information, visit www.laductrading.com/community.
Also, something that could be possible given why I am considering more bullish probabilities. One is you can see the Wix is just this kind of sell-off and movement without being able to get over resistance generally leads to breaking the most recent local low. So with Wix looking like that and the dollar again unable to get over the 104 level, it just, leads me to believe that we could be more bullish than the channel indicates. It's not necessary that we have to 100% reject the channel. But yeah, it is again. I also, kind of discussed last week that we could be in a bigger wave five, which would mean this is our 1-2. We push up for a 3-4 and a 5 that, I kind of mentioned this last weekend as well. And I still do think that this is possible too. So kind of don't go with the assumption that we are super, super extended. So we have to sell off. We are kind of in a precarious situation, but again, in the blow off kind of scenario as well, wherein market is just going to be irrational till at one point we become rational again. So anyway, with that being said, nobody can really kind of predict the top. All you can do is prepare for a different scenario. So as long as we're staying over this, let's say 5150 level, we stay over 51, we stay over 5115, we stay over 5115, we continue to remain bullish and play out these scenarios to even consider looking at a smaller time frame short. At the very least, this is the breakout level. So at least, break that 5115 level. And we could at least have an intraday short back to 5060, which is at the bottom of the channel, to even consider having a bigger short. This, right, this 5060 level is actually, I would say, this is a good start. But this 5060 is kind of the super important level. Only if we break this will I actually chase it short. Otherwise, I'd rather look for oversold plays that are like gonna catch a bid because the market is currently showing no signs of slowing down, but maybe in the middle of the week it may. So yeah, with all that being said, let's kind of look at this week's watch list. So the first one I have is Tesla. And so again, you can see we pretty much, right, for 4 days kind of just gone sideways. But before those 4 days, right, we kind of just went sideways for another week, but we broke that range, right? So we broke out of that range, but we went sideways. So technically, Tesla, right, if you go to the weekly chart, you'll be able to see that we kind of have been sideways for 3 weeks. So it's due for a very volatile move. And given the way that IWM is looking, we did, stay over 200. We are holding the channel. So it does, again, we zoom out. This is pretty much 205, 206, the last level of supply. Once that breaks, it's very likely going to have a very bullish move kind of to the upside. And again, the yields are looking like they want to break lower. So all that, given that IWM is looking good. So Tesla kind of has been moving relative to that a little bit. So if, oversold junk start to catch bid, Tesla again, it does have a gap to fill at 210 and again, multiple gaps to the upside. So if you can break over 205, my targets are 210 and 225 on Tesla. And again, I'm not maybe like, hey, doesn't this look like the bear flag? It does. So I mean, break back below 198, break 198, 197. This can definitely, instead of, I'm looking for something like this, given how the market is looking, but if Tesla wants to be the oddball, it definitely could come down to the bottom of this channel before it actually has that bounce that I am talking about. So yeah, that is why I would say wait for it to break 205, 206 before you kind of trade that upside. But yeah, I am watching Tesla. It is due for a pretty big move soon. So yeah, that's one. And Boeing, you can see that we have kind of been, you go to the weekly chart of Boeing, you can see we've been sideways for 5 weeks. We broke down. We tried to break back up, but we pretty much, you can see it, we pretty much ended up going and rejecting and coming back to the downside. So yeah, ideally, some chart that continues to look like this, I would say that, we start to break below 200. We very likely, come down to 180, 175. But again, you can see that this pretty much has been the lower channel on Boeing. So it is possible that we could have a dip and rip. So you need to be careful about that. But yeah, once we start to break back below 200 and 195, then we're very much, going to come down to like 180, 173 on Boeing. So yeah, so that's what I have on Boeing on this week's watch list. The next one I have is actually Amazon. And again, I have been pretty bullish on Amazon, and we are kind of breaking over resistance. So as long as we stay over, I'd say 175, 176, you can see that above 180, we're very likely going to push into 183, which is the next fib level, and 185. So I do think that, again, another reason I have started to consider more bullish legs on ES is just because of how Amazon and, some of the big tech mega cap stocks they don't look like they're finished yet. So given that they do have a little bit more upside, then Amazon could be a good one. And I did talk about how IWM is bullish. So again, I like Square. Reason for that, broke the downtrend, gapped up on earnings, held the breakout. So now you can see we have resistance here at 80, 81. So we get over 80, 81, Square should be able to, push up to 90 and even 95. So yeah, that's the reason I have Square. If IWM starts to go, stuff like Square will definitely take off. So that's why I have Square on this week's watch list. And let's see, last but not the least, I actually have CAT. But again, I have this kind of because I think it is pretty overbought. And again, even if I were to zoom in to the smaller time frames, right? This would be my 1, 2, my wave 3, my wave 4, and it's almost done with the wave 5. So regardless of what I feel in the swing time frame, I do think in the chase time frame, it could either I think it's very likely just going to have a small minor push into 340, maybe 345, before I think it comes down to retest 350 and 310. So yeah, that's kind of why I have CAT on the 6 watch list. It is pretty overbought compared to some of the other stocks. So I mean, money needs to go out of somewhere to go into something else. So I do think that stuff that's already been on a good run could have digestion while, growth stocks take off. So yeah, that's all I have for the 6 watch list. I hope you have a great day.
Subscribe to LaDuc Trading YouTube channel for more Wolf's weekly wave list videos and other content.